Breathe with me, deep divers. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Peace. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Magnificent deep divers, another glorious day in the heart of nature. The flamingos are saying hi. Take that, take that, take that. Good ass energy I'm sending you. Raising the frequency. Raising the vibration. So look, Infinite Waters, the audience is very diverse. Some people watch my videos just for food. You're making me hungry. Some people watch my relationship videos. Some people just come here to see my beautiful face. Oh, thank you, deep divers. And therefore, not everyone who's watching my videos has embarked on their spiritual journey, on their awakening journey. Some people haven't even started yet because there are a lot of deep divers out there. Okay, so 10 signs you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening. In 2006, I had a massive spiritual awakening in 2006. I realized that I'm a multidimensional being having a human experience. I'm a spiritual being trapped in a human body, which is pretty cool. And everything changed. And you might be going through that right now, this whole awakening. And that being said, there are many awakenings people go through. Even if you have had one awakening, you're going to have to go through a next one because there are levels to this shit, deep divers. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? 10 signs you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening. So right now, a lot of people are quite aware and awake, but they're still not sure. Is it a spiritual awakening or is it just me being nosy? Or is it just a random coincidence that my eyes are starting to open to the truth about who I really am and the world around me? Or is it an accident that I'm all of a sudden seeing the world in a different way? 10 signs you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening. Number 1, you don't fit in. You are an outcast, a fringe dweller. Sometimes you feel like an alien. Like sometimes you're just observing people. Like, I feel so different. And oftentimes you spend time alone. Is that you? Do you spend time alone because you're like, actually, I would rather go within than follow the crowd going in the wrong direction? Well, that's a sign that you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening. Because when I realized that I had an urge to just spend time alone over 15 years ago and really reconnect with who I really am. And I realized, I'm like, what's happening? And I realized that actually that was the birth of my spiritual awakening. Like me going within. And deep divers, the only way out of this matrix is inside. Oh yes. The second sign that you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening is the breakdown. Have you had your breakdown? If you haven't, get ready for it. If you had your breakdown already, that could be a sign that you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening. You see, many people who have had their spiritual awakening, their first one, because there are so many, usually have a catastrophic breakdown. Everything falls apart. Life doesn't go their way. And it's a kind of worrying time. I had my breakdown in 2006. It's like I had derealization. Nothing seemed real around me. And I realized that actually it was a spiritual awakening. And I was going from a caterpillar into a butterfly. And it was like I was dying to this world and being reborn to the new earth. Woo! Yes. So if you are having a breakdown right now, like reality is breaking down, nothing makes sense in this world they're showing you, that's a sign that you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening. What is number 3? The third sign that you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening: depression. You see, a lot of people don't really talk about this, that actually a lot of people who have had their spiritual awakening go through depression. And the reason why is because if you actually say depressed phonetically, it comes out as deep rest. Deep rest. And many people have to be stopped in their tracks. Like the universe just says, sit your ass down, pause. And it's a time where a lot of people go through this depression. And it's a sign of your spiritual awakening. Many people get disheartened. They feel disappointed when they really start to go within themselves that actually everything out there is not as real as they once thought. And this can be depressing. When you have an awakening that you're starting to realize you're so much more than you've been told, it can be depressing. And the reason why a lot of people feel depressed is because they're empaths as well. They can feel now the energies of other people. They can feel that the collective needs healing. And that can be depressing when you realize that so many human beings, billions of human beings, are dealing with trauma. And you're starting to realize this in a greater way. The fourth sign that you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening is now you're getting to know thyself. You've gone through the depression, and now you're starting to know who you really are. You're like, actually, I know myself. I'm learning more about my emotions. I'm learning more about life, that we are but passing strangers, and that we are here, spirit in form, experiencing this magical experience for a brief moment in time. And I've got to make the most of it, right? You're now starting to, you're feeling yourself right now, deep divers. You're getting to know who you really are, not this person, which is a persona, a mask. And this is what happens, okay? And this is why you might be having a spiritual awakening. If the mask is starting to fall off, and you're getting to know the real you. Know thyself, okay? The fifth sign that you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening: shadow work. You're realizing, upon knowing thyself, that you're not only this positive person, or how your mum sees you or your friend sees you, you also have a shadow side. And this is what the world doesn't see. They don't see this side of you. But you're now starting to become more aware of it and integrate it into who you are. And that is a sign that you might be going through a spiritual awakening. If you are now embracing your shadow, doing the shadow work, congratulations. The sixth sign that you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening: constantly questioning everything. You're like a child again. Why, what, when, how, who? You're always asking questions. You're questioning your reality. You're questioning the mainstream media narrative about everything they're showing you, about what's going on in the world. You have more questions than answers. You are questioning people's real intentions. You're also questioning organized religions and saying, actually, maybe there's another way. Like, you're questioning everything. You're questioning this whole entire system. why are there different countries? Why are there different nationalities? When in actuality, it's one humanity. And that's a sign that you might be having your spiritual awakening. If you are losing this separation and embracing unity consciousness and questioning to say, why is the world like this? Who created this? Congratulations. The seventh sign that you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening is that friends that you once were cool with are now seeming like distant strangers, okay? Like even you're having sometimes problems at home, like your parents don't get you, your aunties, relatives, like when they see you, it's like a new you. And it's because you're on a different level of consciousness and awareness. And therefore, you're beginning to lose people. Like people you were once close with sometimes don't get you. And this is a sign that you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening. Because you see, sometimes the universe takes away people to replace new people into our lives who are on the same frequency and vibration as ourselves. At the same time, we still know people from our old life before our spiritual awakening. So if you are starting to be turned off by just shallow conversations, what's up? How you doing? And you're all about more meaningful interactions, that's a sign that you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening. What is the eighth sign that you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening? You are remembering who you really are. You're having like flashbacks, deja vu. You're realizing that, wait a minute, I was told this is my name and this is what I'm here to do, but you're now having a remembrance that you're so much more than you were told. It's almost like you're coming out of this amnesia and through your dreams, you're having these visions of who you really are. And that's a sign of spiritual awakening. It happened to me. I was like dreaming of ancient Egypt. And I realized that everything they tell you in this world is to distract you from who you really are. And through my long meditations, my long walks with a cat down the road, I started to remember who I really was. And I've never looked back since, deep divers. What is the ninth sign? You might be experiencing a spiritual awakening. You just want to help. You've seen like a lot because you've gone deep down the rabbit hole. And now you're like, you just want to help humanity in any way that you can. You're spreading good messages out there. You're setting up charities. You are doing humanitarian causes, or in your own way, you're writing books that can help people. You just now know that you're here to raise the frequency of the planet and raise the vibration and help as many people as you can live better. Is that you? Well, you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening, because many people who go through this spiritual awakening, once you know, you want other people to know. But then you realize that the truth can't be told. It can only be realized. What? Slow motion this side. From the book. Go and check out that new book, Feel Alive by Ralph Smart, on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/the book. Also, shout out to everyone who's been getting the wonderful Good Ass Prana shirts at ralphsmart.com/close. The 10th sign that you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening. Dun, dun, dun. You are starting to eat to live. Woo! You are changing your diet and no one's asking you to change it. You're just doing it. You're like, actually, I don't want to eat steak today. I don't want to eat pork today. You are eating more fruits and vegetables. You're really now more focused on your health, on eating from Mother Nature's garden, and you're into herbal remedies, you're into naturopathic medicine, you realize that much of the world is still on allopathic medicine, only treating the symptoms. And you're like, actually, I know nature has a cure for everything. I've been watching Dr. Savy. Pass me those herbs, right? You got your moringa powder. You got your sea moss. You got all of those things, right? And if that's you, if you have actually changed your diet, that's a sign that you might be experiencing a spiritual awakening. It happened to me. One day I said, actually, I don't want to eat the junk they're feeding me. I want to start eating from nature's garden. Apples, oranges, peaches, pears, strawberries, blueberries. And I realized that as I changed my diet, I became more awake and aware. I became more in tune with myself. And this is the reason why so many people who are eating to live, it is not an accident or a coincidence that they are also going through a major spiritual awakening. And that's why they're just saying, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello there? Beautiful deep divers. I'm just, woo, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. I love all of you deep divers. Peace. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. You. I want to know about your spiritual awakening experience. Let me know how you knew you were going through one. Also, leave a comment down below of love and appreciation. You want me to go live on this topic? Just say, go live, Ralph. And if you were switching off the TV, no one asked you to, yeah, that's probably a sign that you were having a spiritual awakening, because you're like, ain't nobody got time for that. Peace.